how these councils were helpful for the continuation of the Supreme Buddha's teachings in pristine purity. Meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, having completed 10 perfections, the Supreme Buddha attained the Buddhahood or enlightenment under the Bodh tree at Bodh Gaya in India 2600 years ago. That is called the obtaining of omniscience or sarvajñata jnana, sabbhanyuta jnana, which includes the knowledge of everything. So, Supreme Buddha knew almost everything in the world. Nothing missed out from his knowledge. Meritorious devotees, even though the Supreme Buddha knew almost everything in the universe, in the world, he wanted to explicate exclusively what is necessary, vital for the attainment of Nibbana. In other words, to put an end to this sansaric suffering. In order to do so, Buddha expounded the Dhamma within 45 years, approximately 18,000 discourses were there. So, after the passing away of the Supreme Buddha, there was a necessity to amalgamate almost all the discourses, the Dhamma, expounded by the Buddha, scattered hitherto. Then, the most venerable Arahat, Mahakassapa, and most venerable Arahat Anuruddha, most venerable Arahat Ananda, most venerable Arahat Upali, and other Arahants got together and under the patronage of King Ajatasattu or King Ajasatta held the first Buddhist council at Rajagaha in the cave called Saptapanni. Because there was first cause as one old monk said, when the Buddhist monks were in a sad mood after the passing away of the Supreme Buddha, don't worry, oh bhikkhus or monks or friends, now we are free, because that particular our teacher, he imposed rules and regulations, and he laid down rules, and he said, this is the thing that you have to do, and this is not to do, like that. But now, that particular one, that Mahasamana, is no more. Therefore, we can do whatever we want to do. When this was heard by Venerable Mahakassapa Thera, Arahat Mahakassapa Thera, he understood the value of having a council. Earlier on, almost all the Arahants, especially these leading Arahants, wanted to collect all these scattering Dhamma expounded by the Buddha at various places to various persons. But this necessity came an immediate task because of this person's this utterance. There's bad utterance. Now, in Sinhala we call Subhadrage Abhadra Vachane. So it actually gave a kind of encouragement for the Arahants to have First Buddhist Council. Holding First Buddhist Council after 3 months of passing away of the Supreme Buddha, now Dhamma and Vinaya were rehearsed there, and they were given to various leading Arahants and their disciples to preserve in terms of oral tradition. We call it Mukha Parampara. So it came down from Mukha Parampara, oral tradition, from that day onwards. That is how our Dhamma and discipline was preserved for the first time. That preservation and that protection was very essential for the continuation of this dispensation. Then, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, it went on smoothly for 100 years till King Kalasoka came to power. When King Kalasoka came to power, another group of monks called Vajjivuttaka bhikkhus, so monks from the Vajji area, they brought forward unnecessary 10 factors that they have the freedom to follow them, going against the Vinaya rules imposed by the Supreme Buddha. Then Arahants during those periods, during that time, Venerable Sabbakami, Venerable Yasa, Venerable Sobhita, and these Arahants got together and they wanted to refute and be against. They wanted to take actions against these wrong factors. But at that time, king was for the first time not with the Arahants. Fortunately, one of the sisters of the king was a nun. This nun explicated to the king and emphasized that king has taken the wrong side. Therefore, the king should take the right side, that is the side of the Arahants. Then, actually, King Kalasoka agreed upon this and helped to have the second Buddhist council after the passing away of the Supreme Buddha, 100 years after passing away of the Supreme Buddha. So that was taken place in Visala city, in Valukarama temple, and then once again the establishment of the pristine purity of our Dhamma took place. Then the other group of monks who were there, at least 10,000, so they wanted to follow that tradition, and they held another council, Sanggayana. Now they were named as Mahasangika. So after 100 years, they were scattered into at least 14 sects. Today they are named as Mahayana. People tend to think Mahayana and Theravada both are the same. That is not so. Theravada is the Supreme Buddha's real teachings or real way of following, and Mahayana is the one which drifted away from the original tradition in the second Buddhist council. after that, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, this establishment came, into operationalization, and it went on nicely, smoothly. But later on, with the view to get a lot of benefits and all that, kind of mundane benefits, so many people entered into the sasana during the period of King Dharmasoka. So, King Dharmasoka, having understood this, with the instructions of Arahat Moggali Puttathissa Thera, took necessary actions, and especially Arahat Moggali Puttathissa Thera, with the patronage of King Dharmasoka, held the third Buddhist Council after 236 years of the passing away of the Buddha in Pataliputra city in Ashokarame. Now, during that period, this Sanghayana went on very well, and at least 1,000 Arahants participated in the council, because you have to tell that at the first Buddhist council 500 Arahants participated in, second Buddhist council 700 Arahants participated in, now third Buddhist council 1,000 Arahants participated in. So what happened after this participation and after this holding of the third Buddhist council, especially the sending of messengers with the Dhamma to 9 countries was taken place, including Sri Lanka, those days called Tambapanni. King Dharmasoka's, or Emperor Asoka's son, Arahat Mahinda Thera, arrived in Sri Lanka after 236 years later to Sri Lanka, that is, 2,300 years ago. And Arahat Mahinda Thera delivered the sublime Dhamma to Sri Lankan citizens, including the king, that is King Devanampiyathissa. So King Devanampiyathissa took refuge in the Triple Gem wholeheartedly with the retinue of 40,000 persons, and later on, King took necessary actions to spread Buddhism in all over Sri Lanka, in every nook and corner of the country. Then Sri Lankan culture became Buddhist culture, Sri Lankan way of life became Buddhist way of life, and completely our everything was nourished by Buddhism. So after that, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, smoothly this went on, and the Dhamma was preserved by oral tradition once again, and some commentaries also emerge, and especially Sihila Attakatha, because Arahat Mahinda Thera explicated various Dhamma. Those are called Sihila Attakatha, and later on Venerable Buddhaghosa came from India, translated once again them into Pali language. So, and this all these processes were taken place nicely, but during King Valagamba, the Vattagamani Abhaya period, before Jesus Christ's birth, what happened? That is, there was a famine, very dangerous famine for 12 years. Now, due to that, our Arahants passed away. So many Arahants passed away. Now, then, some Arahants, went to India in order to save their lives. and some arahants took, very, very arduous steps to save their lives, and in order to remember this Dhamma of the Supreme Buddha by, spending their time near, near the bank of the Mahaweli River, taking or having some, some kind of no food at that time. Therefore, they had to have some drinks made from trees and all that, and they called them the Vatakeya, and so they were, they were living with those type of very, very arduous way. However, having preserved this Dhamma, finally, after the famine, they got together and decided that in order to preserve this Dhamma, in order to safeguard this Dhamma, in order to protect this Dhamma, for future steps, for future dangers like this, they wanted to write them down in all leaves. So, under the patronage of King Valagambau, and during the Valagambau period, at Aloka Vihara in Matale, Tripitaka and all the commentaries were, written down. Now that is a great step taken by our Arahants at that time. All Arahants participated in this great magnanimous task at that time. So then no damage can be done to our Dhamma. Dhamma friends, you can understand how our Arahants and the Buddhist monks have taken necessary steps, and how they have dedicated their life and how they sacrificed their lives in order to protect this sublime Dhamma for the betterment of both gods and human beings. And this came down like that. And here and there, some other, kind of councils were taken place in Burma, and now we call it Chatta Sanghayana, and all that, they were taken place. Here and there, some other Sanghayana or councils were taken place during some other kings and all that. So like that, they came down with oral tradition, actually, and finally written down tradition. When it comes to present day, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, once again, there are some misinterpretations of our Dhamma and misinterpretations of our life of the Buddha by various monks, especially one or two monks sometimes, or some group of monks, and with the help of some group of various people in the society, some kind of intellectuals, so-called intellectuals, also supporting these misleading interpretations. So these interpolations, misinterpretations, in this kind of context, especially our wise monks and laity came forward and put forward the ideas of these wrong interpretations and interpolations. So wrong etymological interpretations are there, fanciful etymological interpretations like paticca, like wrong, completely wrong. So this is a very, kind of danger for the continuation of our pristine purity dispensation, our Dhamma, especially our doctrine. So damaging the doctrine is a very, very heinous thing. Therefore, one day, if the Dhamma is no more, then the dispensation is no more. If Dhamma is there, we can attain Nibbana. If Dhamma is not there, we cannot attain Nibbana. We cannot continue our life with Buddhism. Therefore, it is a great danger, kind of, very, very kind of deterioration in our sasana. So, in this regard, because of our venerable monks emphasizing this fact, our present president took necessary step in order to preserve Dhamma by declaring Tripitaka as a national heritage. So that is a great attempt and a great step taken by present president, in this regard. Then, now the second step came into being, that is the process of declaring Tripitaka as a world heritage, In order to, make this a success, once again, there is a very, very strong process of putting forward this Tripitaka as something to be declared as a world heritage. It should be, introduced and especially proposed to UNICEF, and that has to be done with the help of other countries, especially Theravada countries. So far, hitherto, necessary steps have been taken, and necessary steps is being taken in order to make this a success. This week, especially the week beginning from 16 to 23, has been declared as a Tripitaka week. Tripitaka, that is felicitation of the Tripitaka. So that is a great thing. We have to actually appreciate as Buddhist monks and as all followers of the Buddha, this great attempt by the present government, especially Mr. Maitripala Sirisena, the president. Therefore, within this period, this is being taken place, and almost all actions have been taken place, and various Dhamma programs in his schools, in Dhamma schools, in Pirivanas, and in various institutions, and in various media, on various media. So there is a kind of new innovation, and especially new kind of emphasis is given to the value of the Tripitaka and protection of Tripitaka. Therefore, meritorious devotees, Dhamma friends, we also must know about this program, and we also must we also must be helpful in order to protect our Supreme Buddha's teachings. Why we protect the Supreme Buddha's teachings? Because it is for everybody in the world. It surpasses all races, it surpasses all religions, it surpasses all countries, it surpasses even the human world. So, even for the deities, for both gods and humans, the Supreme Buddha's teachings are essential for the betterment of this worldly and next worldly, kind of development. Therefore, this is a very good decision, and you all have to pay attention on the declaration of our Supreme Buddha's teachings as a world heritage. If this is made as a world heritage, nobody can damage this Dhamma, nobody can misinterpret this Dhamma, nobody can intervene and kind of influence our Dhamma, and it will last long for a long period of time with pristine purity for the betterment of both humans and the deities. Therefore, meritorious devotees, we also must contribute in whatever way for the preservation of this sublime Dhamma, and in order to make this universal thing, universal sublime thing, especially this becomes a legal universal one then, and if somebody damages our Dhamma and our life of the Buddha, the character, so then we can take necessary legal actions nationally and internationally. Therefore, in this Dhamma talk, I wanted to emphasize this is a timely process. So this Dhamma talk is completely based on this timely actions, timely process. So I wish our Supreme Buddha's teachings to last long, giving benefit for both humans and deities for a longer period of time. May the Noble Triple Gem bless with you all. Akasattha ca Bhummatta Devanaga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Sasanang. Akasattha ca Bhummatta Devanaga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Desanang. Akasattha ca Bhummatta Devanaga Mahiddhika Punyantang Anumoditva Chiran Rakkantu Tang Sada. May you all be well and happy.